It's a terrible football show. What do you expect?
I want whatever you guys are smoking right now.
Just in my brain, it just makes so much sense.
OH!
Oh, baby, yeah!
You have no quarterback. You're going to need some punters.
Welcome to a terrible football show.
That's my quarterback and my teammate, man. Ruins my fucking holiday every damn year.
Alex,
What up?
you can thoroughly kiss my ass.
If it's Toledo, I'm drawing the best damn rocket there is out there.
Now that's gonna look like a dildo.
Tell my HR director about this show. He's going to listen to it.
They draft Xavier Worthy. What the fuck? Wide receiver from Texas.
It's a fucking hamster.
It's a hamster mixed in with a sheep.
The Buffalo Hamsters have traded.
Listen, guys, this is a terrible football show where everybody may be good at nothing, but we are terrible at everything.
That's facts. That's a clip for the intro.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
That's a clip for the intro, baby. Yeah, he's successful at just giving his terrible opinions, so why can't I? Terrible football show, after all. Welcome to a terrible football show. It is August 6, 2024, episode 105. I'm a little off camera. That's okay, because we're going to have a really weird Let me get over here. Here we go. Now we're getting a little bit more centered up. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day today. My name is Alex Light with Sparky3. We're officially back weekly, boys, and that's great to hear. You know, it's almost time for football season. It's time for predictions, and we've got the boys here with a very funky overlay for the stream because I'm very lazy and I didn't want to give everyone their own camera. So everyone's on screen, but you're going to see me and Ricky twice because Ricky's in studio. So let me go over that. And now let me center myself back up. We have all the boys here. Let's go around the room. Ricky in studio. How you doing? How you feeling?
I am feeling amazing, wonderful. Been super busy, but you know, it's my life. It's part of it.
And now you're about to be more busy with football.
Yes.
Football time.
Yes, football. So I have a meeting Thursday night. Yes, I have a meeting Thursday night with my crew. And then here in a couple of weeks, we'll start doing scrimmages, and then the 0 week will be here before you know it.
Yep, right around the corner. We got the handsome Ohio fuck here. Jacob, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, when it rains, it pours. I got rear-ended today.
Love
but,
that.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
Not your fault.
We're here to talk about football, and that's all that fucking matters today.
That's right. It's football prediction time. College football predictions, baby. Next up, we got Shane. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Ready to wing it.
Yeah, apparently you're not the only one.
Yeah, like they say, fake it till you make it. So,
Yep.
You know,
And Tyler,
do the damn thing?
Can you relate to that? Are you gonna be faking it till you make it, my friend?
You always fake it till you make it.
Hey, that's why it's called a terrible football show, baby. Grip it and rip it, boys. We're just going to wing it. So we are doing the college football predictions today like we do every year. So we're going to be going through every single conference with conference winners, conference runner-ups, and our first and second favorite teams. Hopefully it's going to be a fun time. We're going to dive into all of that. Here in the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing NFL stuff. Next week, we'll do NFC or AFC. We'll figure out which. I don't know. And then the week after that, we'll do the opposite. It's whatever. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that part out. We'll make sure to shout out Rogue Energy and Agent Inc. throughout this show, so make sure to pay attention to that. As well as our brand new Patreon, which is linked down below. We'd appreciate that extra support if you want to go check that out, as well as the new YouTube channel that, unfortunately, because I'm a dipshit, we are not live on, because I forgot with new channels for YouTube, you have to request live stream access, and I forgot about that till this morning. So next week, we will be live on ATSN. This episode will be on the ATSN channel, though. It just won't be live. But next week, we will be live at ATSN, which will be eventually the primary home for a terrible football show. And it's also where our new show is, Terrible Wrestling Show. You should go listen to the first episode where we correctly predicted SummerSlam. At least two of us. I don't remember who it was. Jacob, who correctly predicted? I know it was me and someone else. Was it Shane?
No, was it?
No, it was you and Steve.
Shout out to Steve. Shout out to ATWS. Shout out to ATWS. Shout out to that. Go listen to episode 1. It's a fun time. We have a great time. Just like we're going to have a great time today, boys. We feeling it? We ready to grip and rip it back on the weekly schedule?
Absolutely. It's about time. 17 days, by the way, boys.
Is it
17 days until college football kicks off.
Yep.
Is it just me, or did this offseason go by really, really slow for us?
It went by quick, in my
yeah.
opinion.
To me, it was
It
slow.
went fast.
I don't know, and that's the thing. I've been so busy, but at the same time, it's like, man, this seemed like it took forever to get here.
I don't know. Shane and Tyler, how you guys feel about that? I feel like it went by quick.
Went by a lot faster than usual for me.
I was going to say, don't jump in at once now.
Hey, I was waiting on him. He wasn't saying nothing. So,
Oh man, I mean, I feel like it went by fairly quick, in my opinion. Which I'm happy for. We're here in August. College football kicks off very, very soon. We got to get our fantasy draft set up, boys. I got to get that set up. I'm so sorry. We are transitioning to sleeper this year. So shout out to that. I still need to get Shane's other trophy to put up in the studio. Shane, unless you want this one, I don't know. It's up to you. But we got to get his other trophy to put up in the studio for winning last year, and need to get that going. Need to get the sleeper league going. We gotta get ready for our draft. We are gonna do 2 drafts this year, though. By the way, just full warning on that. So we're gonna do a standard league like we always do, because we know it works. We like it. It's a great time. But we are going to do, because I want to try it. I want to try it so damn bad. We are gonna do a dynasty league. Because hopefully that's just going to be like a permanent mainstay thing for Sparky 3, because we'll just have an ongoing dynasty, and it will feature defensive players. Defensive players will be draftable.
That'd be wow.
Yep. Yeah, we will have 2 starting D linemen, 2 starting linebackers, 2 starting DBs. So we will be really be running a franchise. So I figured we could try it. I've never tried a dynasty league. It sounds like a lot of fun. So we're gonna try that amongst here, the Sparky 3 team, and see how we like it. Then we'll have our normal one. That'll be the money league. Dynasty league won't be like a paid thing, since we're just trying it out. If we really fucking love it, then maybe next year we'll make it like a throw into a pot, whatever. But for now, we'll just do the normal thing with our primary league. So,
I will say before we continue, even though obviously for obvious situations, I do not have the board for predictions this season.
Okay.
I did come prepared with a notebook.
Hey.
So if anybody has predictions, I'm gonna write that shit down.
Yes.
And I'm gonna throw it back in all your guys' faces when mine come true and your guys doesn't. Arkansas is winning 4 games this year.
Oh, exactly 4.
That's 2 more than I got. But hey, I'm not gonna lie. I was showing Jeff earlier. I was showing him my that little website I go to.
Yeah.
And I was scrolling. I was like, man, you see, this is the top teams. I scroll all the way to the bottom. He said, hold up, motherfucker. What is Arkansas doing at the last? I said, hold up. You're right. Boy, there was 1-9 at one point. So I had to go in there and fix it.
Right. Or you could just let it ride.
I mean, they got at least one good win.
If you wanted to be a dick, you could just let it ride. That's what I would have done. But I'm a dick.
Thinking about it, I mean, there's not really that many winnable games on their schedule.
All right, boys. Well, we have a lot of things to go over today. I mean, we have every single conference winners, runner-ups, and everything. Also, shout out to the fact that only one conference still is divisions. Shout out to that. So let's start going through it. Let's start with the Power 5. I feel like, in terms from a general listener standpoint, that's probably the one people care about the most. So we'll start with Power 5. We won't dilly-dally on that. So with that said, we're jumping straight into it. Jacob, we're going alphabetically. We're going right into it, Bubba. ACC. Okay. Let's kick it off. ACC. I imagine Jacob wants to go last, so let's go around the room and kind of how we're feeling on the ACC. So I'll start. I've got my 3 teams picked out, because like I said, we're going for, top 2 as well as favorite teams. So in my case, Miami's in this mix. So unfortunately, I do have fuck Florida State with coming out on top at the moment with an 11-1 record. Because I just think they have a really easy schedule. I'm going to be honest. I really do. I think they have a very easy schedule. I got Clemson at second at the runner-up with the 10-2. Also an easy schedule besides a couple games. And then I very flip of the coin, let me stress this, have Miami at a 10-2. And I do have a random loss thrown in those 2 losses, that random loss being Virginia Tech. Because
is it at Virginia Tech?
I think it was. Because I think that's just one of those games that we could. I honestly at one point had Miami losing to Georgia Tech again because it just feels like some dumb shit that's going to happen. I think 10-2 is like a ceiling for this team. I'm really excited to see what Cam Ward's going to do to the team. There's lots of transfers. We have a transfer starting wide receiver, transfer starting running back, etc. Really excited to see that. But Miami is just one of those teams that, like, while the ceiling is always there, realistically, they're probably going to win 8 games. They're going to probably win 7 or 8 games, realistically. But I could see a 10-2. I could see an 11-1. Right? Like I could even see a 12-0, really legit. I could see all 3 of these teams I just named all go 12-0, not at the same time, obviously, but respectively, I could see all 3 going 12-0. I think that's a legitimate ceiling based on schedules and where the team's at. But I could definitely see, just kind of eating each other up, and then in Miami's case, just doing dumb shit that's going to cause you to lose against Georgia Tech like you did last year by doing dumb shit. So that's my current ACC. I just kind of fired that from the hip when I threw it all together. Gonna be honest, but at the same time, I'll say my last piece on this. I really genuinely hope fuck Florida State is terrible, not just because I don't like them, but just because I think DJ Uiagalelei, I think he's a bitch. I don't think he could step up to the competition. All right, he bitched out of Clemson. He bitched out of Oregon State. He's gonna fail at fuck Florida State. That's my opinion. Anyway, moving on.
Will say, you guys going into this season, referring to the Hurricane, have my favorite and Heisman candidate potential quarterback going into this season in Cam Ward.
Love Cammy.
I can't believe you guys stole him from my Cougars.
He dipped out just like DJ did.
Okay, so you had
he left.
So you had Miami in 3rd,
Clemson second, and fuck Florida State first.
Okay, so I have the same exact thing that you did, but the most interesting thing that I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 teams below Florida State going 10-2, just because the fact is their schedules are so weak. Yeah. It's not even funny. There's
a lot of weak schedules across college football.
When I looked at this schedule, especially this, now I will say this much: the Big 12 stacked up. They stacked up somewhat. We'll get to the Big 12 later.
Oh, we will.
We'll get to the Big 12 later. I have 2 potential upsets just in the first week. So y'all just hold off and wait on the Big 12, y'all. I'm ready for the Big 12. All right. So anyway, but yes, that's the biggest thing with this ACC, and with so many teams coming in. Looking for all right. So Virginia Tech. All right. So Virginia Tech's one of the teams I'm saying that's going 10-2. They have Vanderbilt at home. I'm sorry, they go on the road at Vanderbilt. That's a win. They have Marshall at home. Marshall's probably going to give them a test. They go to Old Dominion. Old Dominion's going to be terrible this year. Rutgers is going to be a tough one. That's going to be a home game. I have them losing to Miami. They have Stanford, Boston College, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, all wins. I have them losing to Clemson, and then I have them closing out with wins against Duke and Virginia. And because I don't think Duke's going to be worth anything this year, not compared to what they have been. So, I mean, and that's not the only team. I mean, you can go through the rest of these schedules, y'all. They have such a weak schedule. Of all of these, I think Miami has the toughest because they have to go to South Florida. South Florida's looking to improve this year.
They are.
They're kicking Florida right off the bat. I have a loss right off the bat. Sorry. I have a loss right off the bat because they're going to the Swamp. Well, or is that a neutral site game?
Ooh, that's a good question. I can't remember.
If they do a neutral site game or if they're going to the Swamp. I have to look that up here in a little bit.
I think Jacob's on it.
In Jacksonville every year.
And so, but other than that, their schedule's fairly weak. I mean, let's just be honest. It's horrible. You might have 2 teams out of the ACC make the college football playoff. I'm just being honest with you. You're going to have 6 teams with 10 wins or more, and only 2 of them are going to make the playoff because their schedule's so bad. Not everybody speak at once. Lord have mercy. Who's next?
Yeah, who is next?
Jacob wants to go last because Jacob wants us to gasp.
I mean, I'll go. I mean, I'm not going to go in all in depth. I mean, it's going to be the top 3 teams that we've seen over the last 10 years, right? I mean, Miami's kind of fluctuated over this time, but I mean, it's going to be a rotation of Clemson, Florida State, Miami. If you say otherwise, then I think you're just fucking delusional.
I think Jacob's going to be delusional. And it is at the Swamp, by the way.
Yeah, Florida.
I mean, he does live in Ohio, so I mean, that's a given.
Wow.
My God.
Ouch.
He is our residential Ohio fuck.
True. Very true. It's a lovely state.
All right, Tyler.
All right, Tyler. Who's winning the ACC, bub?
The fuck Florida State University.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I got them going. Let me look. 11-1.
Okay.
Naturally, with their one loss being SMU.
Oh.
Interesting.
Okay.
And then, let me see. I got to make sure I got the right one a second. And then my second team, I don't know if y'all ready for this, but it is SMU at 11-1.
Ooh.
I do have SMU going 9-3.
Let me pull up their schedule.
With their one loss, Boston College.
Boston College.
So I'm not that delusional. They're not losing to Boston College. I do have them. I do have them losing at Virginia. I know Virginia's not going to be very good, but that could be a trap game, especially toward the end of the season. Let's see here. But yeah, I have them going 9-3. But yeah, that's respectable.
All right, Jacob. You've been teasing this for weeks. The time is now, my friend.
Okay. In the ACC championship game, I have the 11-1 Miami Hurricanes.
Okay.
With their only loss being to this team, who will be 10-2. Even though they have a grueling schedule, especially in the second half of the season. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Oh, my God.
With the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets winning the ACC
What?
and making the college football playoff.
Okay.
Mainly because they will have beat teams such as Florida State, who will be ranked, Louisville, who would probably be ranked around the low 20s by the time they play them, Notre Dame, NC State, and I have them losing to Georgia. Don't worry, I'm not that delusional. I have them losing to Georgia.
Wow.
I want what y'all are smoking up in Ohio, man. Georgia Tech. As much as I would love for that to happen, I was tempted. I was very tempted.
Huge step forward. Huge step forward. And I think it's going to be even bigger this year.
That is very big. That's a very large step.
Yes, especially. Oh my gosh, I have Georgia Tech winning 2 games.
Complete polar
Damn.
opposites.
That's going to be super difficult with them having a top 5 hardest schedule in the country, let alone the ACC, but in the country.
Shane over here pulling up
why
facts.
they will make college football playoffs.
Oh, I'm sorry, 3 games. 3 games. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have them beating Georgia State, Virginia Military Institute, and Duke. That's it.
Man, you going real fancy going with the full name versus just VMI.
Hey, Virginia Military Institute. My 3rd favorite basketball team.
You going real fancy going the full name over here. God bless Georgia Tech. You know, it would be
awesome though.
It would be just it would be something if Miami and Georgia Tech was in the ACC championship game.
Georgia
Since what
Tech
happened last
winning
year.
the ACC.
That would just be the cherry on top of my existence. That'd be the cherry on top of my luck. Is Georgia Tech and Miami meeting in the championship game?
I like it.
And then us
They
losing
both
to Miami.
beat Florida State this
us
season.
lose Georgia
They
Tech.
both.
Well, at least
I
we got
like
that
it.
much. At least we got that much going on. DJ ain't up for the competition. I'm just saying. I think it'll be proven this year. Bust. All right, let's get to the Big Ten. Personally, I think this one is very straightforward. I think it's between 3 teams. So for me, my conference winner is the Ohio State University with a perfect 12-0 record. The L's that I have, no L's. 12-0, baby. You heard me right. I do have Oregon at 11-1 with their one loss to the Ohio State University. And I have Penn State at 11-1 with an L to the Ohio State University. However, in my mind, I definitely see Oregon finishing that 11-1. All right, that's my opinion. I don't think Oregon's going to eclipse The Ohio State University this year. Sorry, Shane. That's my opinion. However, I think there's a legitimate chance Penn State can beat The Ohio State University and finish the year 12-0. That was a legitimate flip of the coin pick for me between Ohio State and the Ohio State Buckeyes and Penn State. But I do legitimately think Penn State can, in fact, finish 12-0 this year and actually overcome the Ohio State Buckeyes. Only if it's a night whiteout game.
Yep.
I don't know what time.
Yep.
I don't know what time the game is. It's in Penn State. I think Penn State can catch that dub if it's done right.
Yeah, and that's the only loss that I have for Ohio State as well. Just because I also thought of that night game, that night whiteout that they did a couple years ago. So I'm like, there's no way that this Penn State, because Penn State wasn't that good, but it's that whiteout game that just gets Ohio State every time. And Ohio State's loaded with talent, just like that, just like they are every year. The good thing about even if they do lose that one game, there's no pressure to lose that one game for the simple fact is there's so many more teams this year. They could have 2 losses. I don't think they're going to get 2 losses because their schedule's straightforward. But with that being said, Ohio State does. What I'm saying is they can still have 2 losses and they're still going to get in because I just think their schedule's going to be too straightforward and everything like that. I do have Ohio State and Oregon both finishing 11-1 respectively.
Okay.
I've probably got a surprise here. I'm trying to look at the schedule to make sure that this is even possible. I think both Penn State and Ohio State take a step back, and we're going to see Michigan and Oregon in the Big Ten championship game.
Really?
What the fuck?
I don't think Michigan slows down here.
Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, they just ramp up the fucking scheming on the sidelines, huh?
Yeah. They continue to steal signs, and you're going to see Michigan go back-to-back Big Ten champs.
Okay. Holy shit. I didn't expect anyone to shout Michigan out, but I'm here for it.
Jacob, I'm dying here, man. Oh my gosh.
Hold on. It is very well likely that Michigan isn't able to even make a championship game.
Yeah, that is possible.
It is very possible.
It's not set in stone yet, but it is a possibility.
And Jim Harbaugh is a sleazebag who thinks he's good at lying. He's really not because everybody sees right through it.
So, Shane, let me ask you a follow-up question. If that caveat does apply, who do you have winning the Big Ten then? Would it just be like Oregon, or are you going to go for like Penn State or Ohio State? If that caveat does apply.
Well, I have Ohio State third.
Okay.
In the Big Ten. So if Michigan can't play in the championship game, then Ohio State will be there. And honestly, talent-wise, like just based off talent, what Oregon's got in this year and what Ohio State's got in this year, it's a toss-up. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Day loses to Michigan again. He's gone before that fucking championship game anyways.
Facts. Tyler, what's your opinion on what I said about Penn State? Is Penn State going to do it this year, or is it just going to be the Ohio State Buckeyes?
Well, seeing as Jay Frank has absolutely zero pressure on him, I feel like we could go 12-0 and, be in the natty. Or we can go 5-8 or 5-7. I don't know. Jay Frank just does whatever he does, It just all depends,
All right, well, who's winning the Big Ten in your opinion?
Well, I have 3 teams at 11-1, right? But due to what they call tiebreakers, Penn State is most definitely number 1. Then I have Ohio State at number 2 and Oregon at number 3.
All right, so yeah, pretty much the consensus answer for the most part.
Yeah. Because Ohio State is losing to Penn State, Oregon's losing to Ohio State, and Penn State is losing to Purdue.
What?
I mean that's fair. In the Big Ten,
it's fair because Purdue definitely loves to get in at least one major upset.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's not going to win.
It really feels
like this year. Lord have mercy, they're going to be horrible this year.
Hey, they like to throw in an upset.
Oh,
That's the
Yeah,
wild nature of the Big Ten.
with the way our schedule looks, we're walking in the bakery and just looking around. I mean, Ohio State's there, but we're just looking with them. We play absolutely nobody good, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless you call Maryland good.
I would say Maryland's decent. They're in the upper middle class of the Big Ten.
They're all right. No big deal. All right, Jacob, our residential Ohio fuck. How we doing?
Listen, you guys understand that James Franklin is 1-9 against the Buckeyes, right?
Yes.
You guys understand that,
hey,
right?
hey,
He's only
hey!
won one game.
Streaks are made to be broken, sir.
Facts.
Hey, that was a solid win, though. You gotta admit.
How long ago was that win?
2016. Okay,
Exactly.
Oh my
I graduated high school when that happened.
You're young.
Okay, I'll go get you some diapers here after the show. Okay? I mean, like that was a solid win, though. You gotta admit.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all still made the playoffs, so it don't even fucking matter, man.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Fuck.
Jacob's speechless. Holy shit.
Okay, so obviously the winner of this conference is going to be the Ohio State Buckeyes. No, I am not a delusional fan. It is just strictly because talent-wise, coaching-wise, more so talent-wise, we are the best team in this conference. I have Oregon losing 2 games this season. One to Ohio State and one to a certain Mountain West team.
What?
Ooh.
I have them losing to Boise State.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I have the Big Ten Conference Championship being Ohio State and the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Interesting.
Oh my goodness.
So let's see here. Oh, hang on, I need to go back. So now that you mentioned Nebraska, I think I have Nebraska going 9-3.
There was only 2 teams last season to be able to score more than 24 points against them, and that was Michigan and Colorado. Yes, they had 31 turnovers last year, but they added a plethora of excellent talent to their team. I think Matt Rules takes these guys to a Big Ten championship. Now, how they do in the Big Ten championship, that's a completely different. But Ohio State, Nebraska, book it for the Big Ten championship. Book 4 or 5 teams maybe from this conference making the college football playoffs this year.
4 or 5.
I could see.
Yep.
I could see 4. 5's going to push it.
I'm gonna say 3.
So here's the thing.
I'm gonna say Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Iowa, and Nebraska.
Iowa, no. I think Iowa. I don't think Iowa's offense is going to be that great. I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see improvement, but I don't think they're going to make that big of a jump from having this terrible offense who could only score maybe a touchdown or so a game to all of a sudden they're going to be one of the best. Now, if they can score at will, they're going to go undefeated. But the problem is they can't do that.
They don't have that hard of a schedule. The only hard places they have to go is to Ohio State, and then they're home against Washington. And that's it.
Iowa didn't have
every other game they could win.
Iowa didn't have a hard schedule the last 2 years, and they've done the same exact thing the last 2 years.
Guys, look, you have a better chance of seeing Vanderbilt going 12-0 in the SEC than seeing Iowa with a good offense. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you.
Yeah. Now I do have Iowa going 6-6, but I'm just saying.
Their defense will carry them to a winning record, though, and their special teams.
Oh yeah, their defense will carry them into the top 25. And I think that 100%. The Western Michigan offensive coordinator that they have coming into the season knows what the fuck he's doing, and they have a fantastic quarterback coming into this season. So I think the offensive production is definitely going to spike up big time this season.
Wait, who's the QB they got coming in? Was he a transfer or a recruit?
He was a transfer.
Yeah, transfer. Shit. Because Cade McNamara is not starting.
Yeah.
He's not starting at all. It is Brendan Sullivan.
Oh, okay.
Transfer from Northwestern.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, hopefully we can see some improvement out of their offense. You know, again, I feel like we got a better chance seeing Vanderbilt going 12-0, but that's my opinion. It's neither here nor there.
Go Commodores!
I think we got a better chance seeing the Bears win 4 Super Bowls in a row than see a great Iowa offense at all times. Keyword at all times, not a one-off, all times.
Iowa's head coach came out and stated back in June, that if Mac Monero, whatever his fucking name is healthy, he is the starting quarterback starting in August.
Interesting.
My mind does not change at all.
Okay. All right. Respect.
No, if it changes, that's on Iowa, but I mean that's what their head coach said back in June.
Right.
That he will be starting the quarterback. He will be the starting quarterback if he's healthy week 1.
Okay. All right, let's jump to the Big 12, boys. This is where we got a little bit of mayhem. I got more than 3 teams listed for me on this one. This is where we get a little bit of mayhem. All right, so let me go down the board for me, and everyone can kind of just bounce off that, for everything that I've got going on in terms of where I could see Big 12 going. So for conference winner, my conference winner is I have newcomer Utah winning the conference. I have Kansas State coming out on top going into the conference championship. First in the conference is 11-1. They're 1 loss to Arizona. I have Utah with 11-1 in second place. They're 1 loss to Oklahoma State. And this is the interesting thing about this conference is like this one and the SEC both, and even another one of the Group of 5 conferences, all the teams that I think are going to be in play are just going to cannibalize themselves. Arizona, I've got going 10-2. I'm very excited for this Arizona team this year with their 2 losses, Utah and UCF. Oklahoma State 10-2, Kansas State and Colorado. UCF 9-3, Colorado, Florida, Utah, and Colorado 9-3, Kansas State, Arizona, Utah. But every single loss that I have across the board, I think will be competitive games. I don't think any of these losses I put, I consider like that's going to be a fucking L. Lock it in, bet your mortgage, with the exception of Florida beating UCF. That one you can probably bet your mortgage on. But everything else, it's like I think everything's going to stay really competitive across the board. Any of these losses that I named could be wins for these teams. But then again, they could also lose some other games. I feel like all the top teams of the Big 12 are honestly just going to cannibalize themselves this year. Big 12 is going to be very interesting. And personally, this is my opinion. Take it as you please. I think out of the power conferences that are going to make it into the college football playoff, Big 12 is going to be the weakest one, and they're going to get their shit wrecked when they get in the college football playoff. That's just my opinion.
So I do have Kansas State going on top at 11-1 with their 1 loss being at Colorado.
Okay.
But I do believe if they get past Oklahoma State and Colorado, they're going to go undefeated. I just don't see them losing past that. I have Oklahoma State getting second with their only loss to Kansas State. Same situation. They beat Kansas State. They're probably going to go undefeated. Their schedule is fairly weak for the most part. Excuse me. Circle week 1, though, ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State, that could be an upset. Just saying. Okay. Y'all don't mess with my South Dakota State Jackrabbits, just letting y'all know. Anyway, so I do have those 2 coming on top because of a tiebreaker. They will be because of the tiebreaker of Oklahoma State over Utah. I do have Utah going 11-1. I have Kansas going 10-2 because their schedule is just absolutely pathetic. And then I've got Arizona 8-4, Colorado 7-5, as well as TCU, BYU, Iowa State, all going 7-5. And then the rest, that's just crap.
Okay.
I mean, I agree with Alex here. I mean, I think the Big 12's, I think they're probably more diverse than they have ever been.
True.
But the thing is, they're 2 top heavy hitters, right? Oklahoma, Texas, gone. Them 2 have carried this conference for the last however many fucking years.
Right.
I think Oklahoma State, Utah, Kansas State is pretty much that new upper echelon of this conference. I haven't looked at Kansas' schedule, nor anybody else's schedule for that matter, but if it's that weak, I can see Kansas being in that conversation, same as Arizona.
I agree.
But the thing is, I think it comes down to those 3 teams. And me, in my opinion, I'll go with the better player. And I think Oklahoma State's got the best player in the best running back in the country,
Facts.
arguably, and Ollie Gordon. So I'm gonna have Oklahoma State winning the Big 12, probably against Utah or Kansas State.
I will add to what Shane's saying. I do think Kansas can be a player in this. I didn't have them listed just because I went as far down as 9-3 and called it, for my notes, whatever. But Kansas, I was right behind Colorado at an 8-4. Who they lost to, don't remember because obviously I only have the notes that I wrote down. But when I went through the entire thing, Kansas was an 8-4 team, and that 8-4 could become a 9-3. That 9-3 could become a 10-2. You know what I mean? Like, I think this conference is going to really cannibalize themselves. I don't think there's one clear team that is heavily favored. I know a lot of people want to meet. I've seen a lot of conversation on Kansas State. A lot of favor on that. I disagree with the heavy favor on Kansas State. I think it's a lot more balanced than the experts are saying that it's going to be. I think this is going to be a very competitive conference. But it's going to be competitive within themselves. Once we get to that next level and you're battling the Big Ten or the SEC, that's when I think they're going to get their teeth kicked in. That's my opinion. But.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, though. I mean, outside of Arizona, Oklahoma State, and Colorado, they have a fairly easy schedule.
Yeah.
And of course, Kansas is always going to be a good one. That's a rivalry game at home.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. But I could also see that twisted around because those wins that I have them winning could easily be losses in some of these some of this case. But
huge cannibalism for this conference.
And so I could be.
Tyler, what about you, buddy?
I'm out. Let me look, see what I got. Let's see. So I have 3 teams at 10-2.
Here we go.
And they are, let me make sure I'm not tripping. Okay, yeah, they're all 3. So I got Utah winning with them losing to Arizona and Colorado. I have UCF coming in at 2nd.
Ooh.
Really?
Losing to Utah and Colorado.
Ooh.
I don't know. Colorado's getting some dubs to go 5-7, but it's weird. Oklahoma State 10-2, losing to Utah and West Virginia.
Oh man.
Hey, respect to the UCF thing. I think UCF is going to really be taking the next level this year, and I think obviously a huge credit that's going to be KJ.
I hope not. Gosh, I hope not.
I mean, it's gonna be credit to KJ. So let's for as an Arkansas fan, Ricky, let's relax a little bit over there.
You also have to remember who their head coach is, sir.
I'm aware, but let's relax a little bit.
Stand him.
Let's relax. Support your guy.
Okay.
Support your guy.
Go Gus.
He's a record holder.
Go Gus.
He's a record holder, career record holder at your school. So let's.
No, he's not.
KJ, yes, he is.
I'm not talking about KJ Jefferson.
That's what I'm talking about.
So
you have 1 year that you gotta be a UCF fan. After this year, you can say fuck him again.
Okay, point taken.
There you go.
Go, KJ.
There you go. Come on, UCF, baby. Let's get it.
Okay, so I have 2 11-1 teams making the Big Ten championship this year. The 11-1 Oklahoma State Cowboys, with their only loss coming to Utah, and the 11-1 Kansas Jayhawks, with their only loss coming to Kansas State.
Respect.
Give me Mike Gundy, and I think he will win in the first round of the playoffs as well.
Okay.
It's going to be a barn burner because it's going to be a rematch from last year's 39-32 matchup that they had. It was phenomenal last year. And Kansas, man, they got a pretty easy schedule outside of K-State. A pretty easy. I'm not even. Hype around Colorado is going to be out the window by halfway through the season.
Like it was last year.
And I'm going to be happy. I'm going to dance on the grave of Colorado because it's going to be great.
You do realize that, Jerry Jones is going to do his best to get Shedeur Sanders to Dallas, right?
Stop it.
I'm just telling you.
It's going to happen.
This is a college football episode. We do not need to talk about Jerry Jones.
No. It is a terrible football show. It is a college. It's NFL. It's all the above, sir. We've even talked XFL.
I don't want to cry.
I understand.
Yet.
I'm not saying that I agree that we need to go after him. What I'm telling you is we just have to be stuck with the obvious. It's
that
just,
we're going to trade for Gardner Minshew.
Yes.
Let's go, baby.
And then that means that Alex will become a Cowboys fan, and we'll have 3. He'll have to get a Cowboys jersey in here. That is awesome.
Very
yes.
true. Very
Let's
true.
go, Gardner
Or
Minshew.
we can go ahead and go with Trey Lance.
No, hell, no, Lord.
All right, let's not dive too much in that. This is a college episode. He right.
No, but I really, really think that this Kansas team is going to do something special this season,
I
and
agree.
they could potentially go 12-0. I mean, it's very likely.
Based on schedule, yeah.
Their non-conference games are a cakewalk. I mean, their hardest one is Illinois.
Who would have thought that at one point in our lifetime we'd be talking about how great Kansas football is?
It's like take me back to what,
Kansas-
2007?
Kansas at one point,
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Kansas at one point was the Vanderbilt of the conference. They win maybe 1 or 2 games a year. And then all of a
It's
sudden,
because
now
most of their money went into basketball.
Yeah.
and it still does.
And now their basketball team's kind of butt.
That
though.
is very true. That is very, very true. But that also has to do with a lot with the NIL and how that's spread out.
Yeah, and then it was the 2007 Jayhawks. They went 12-1 randomly.
Yeah.
Shout out to that. They ended the year number 7th in the nation. Shout out to that. Don't you just love it when you see those random teams just like have that random ass year?
Yep.
Just for no reason at all.
Arkansas, you're due.
like South Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a weird year for college football. I think that was 2007, right?
True.
I think
you're right. I think it was 07.
USF got up to second in the nation. You know, that was a weird year, man. That was a weird year. It's also like my my offline college football 25 dynasty where I randomly had UAB win the Natty versus Georgia, and then literally the next year they like by week 7 they had lost 3 games, and I'm like, that's what happened.
That's the glory about college football. Anybody and
Facts.
everybody can be good at any given year. You just never know.
Right, facts.
Injuries play a lot into it too. Like last year, Kansas could have won a lot more than 8 games if Jalen Daniels wasn't.
Possibly.
All right. Before we hit our next conference, let me shout this out so I do not forget, because I always forget with this show. Make sure to check out some Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below. Promo code SPARKY3 to get 10% off your order. But you don't have to use the promo code. Just using the referral link is going to support the brand. And we would be greatly appreciative of that. If they've got a better deal going on, feel free to use the deal. Just use the referral link. You're helping us out. Whether if you want to get the hydration line, the brand new chill line, which does work, by the way. I do have some, and it is quite a relaxing beverage in the nighttime. Or just the classic energy line, whether if you want to get the powder or the cans. The Black Cherry Lemonade is one of the best canned energy drinks I've ever had in my life. I'm not even joking on that. If you want proof that I'm not just glazing them, I'm not a big fan of the other 3 cans of Rogue. I think they're just okay because I don't care for candy flavored canned energy drinks. But that Black Cherry Lemonade is to die for. And if you want to get the powder stuff, Rocket Pops, delicious strawberry kiwi, great popsicle, all phenomenal choices. Use that referral link down below, and we would appreciate that. Look at that, boys. We did a sponsor shout out for once. Holy shit. New season, new us. Here we go. All right, so let's pay a little bit of respect to the pack. I do have the pack 2. Although, full transparency, Jacob, I'm really sorry, dude. I did not actually do a prediction for Washington State, and it wasn't because I was being disrespectful. I barely got an Oregon State prediction because I was just trying to make sure that everything was uniform, with all my Mountain West predictions, right? And the playoff predictor, every time I would try, first off, they don't have a pack section anymore.
Nope.
So I can't go to Oregon State and Washington separately. I have to go to the mega picker, then select Oregon and Washington State and kind of go from there. Literally for me, I don't know if you guys were able to do let's say Oregon State predictions on there or not. I picked the first game from Oregon State. Every single time when I went to go pick the second game, the entire browser froze. I just couldn't do it. So I just kind of ballparked it for both teams about this is what I think they're going to go because I don't feel like fucking with it too much and properly lining up everything with my Mountain West. So I think for Oregon State, I think a ceiling is a 9-3. I think a low side is a 6-6. For Washington State, I kind of see the same thing. I see anywhere from a 6-6 to a 9-3. That's just kind of my vibes on the pack 2.
I even looked at the pack too.
Just
I
shout
think
out
they're
some.
both going to end up with 2 losses.
Good job.
Ooh, really?
Go Beavs.
Okay, that's I like that. I hope that happens. You know,
We're talking about real life, right?
yeah, we talking about real life, Bubba.
I was just making sure. He said 2 losses. I thought he was talking about the game.
All
No,
right.
I think they're both going to lose in their respective in-state rival game, and I think they're both going to lose to Boise State.
Okay. All right.
You must have Boise State winning the Mountain West this year.
We'll get there when we get there.
I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, no
Ah.
spoilers. Ricky,
Sir.
Tyler, Shane, ballpark, Oregon State, Washington State. Just do. You can just do what I did. Just give it a ballpark. Ceiling and floor. Ceiling and floor.
Ceiling 3 losses.
Oh, okay. My brain had to process that.
Yeah, ceiling 3 losses, so 9-3. I think floor they both go 5-7.
I think 5 and 7 is also possible. That's fair. All right, Tyler. What about you? I think Ricky's pulling something up. So
I'm
you shout
pulling
it
the
out.
schedule up. Lord
All
have
right.
mercy.
So I did their whole entire schedule because that's what I'll be doing. And
Respect.
Oregon State, I have them going 7-5. And Washington State, I got them flipping it at 5-7.
Ooh. Fuck you, Jacob.
Yeah, there's gonna be some losses.
Yeah. Okay.
And for some reason, I don't know what I have Purdue going, but every time I look, Purdue has a fucking win over every single team. I gotta go see their record because they got me tripping now.
Okay, Ricky. Ceiling and floor for the Beavs and the Cougs.
I could see the Beavs winning 9 or 10 games.
Okay.
The floor, if I were going to say floor, I would say 6. There's 3 what ifs. There's a few of them I wouldn't.
Okay.
For Washington, I would.
State.
Washington State. I'm sorry. Yeah, Washington State. You're right. For Washington State, just by overlooking this, they're going to beat Hawaii. They're going to beat Wyoming. Utah State, yeah, I probably about 7 or 8 wins. I could see I could see them going 12-0. To be honest with you,
Washington State.
I could see them going undefeated. I'm just going to be honest with you.
What?
I could see them going undefeated.
Just based on the schedule?
Just based on their schedule. There's a couple of them they're going to have to look out for, but we'll get to that later whenever we pull up the Mountain West.
Okay. All right, let's hop over to the last power conference with the SEC, which I think will also be a conference that will heavily cannibalize itself because based on how I have my predictions set up, it is extremely heavy cannibalism over here. Let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 teams going 10-2.
Jeez.
7 teams, the top 7 teams going 10-2.
I like it.
And everybody cannibalizing themselves.
That's going to be a tiebreaker nightmare.
Yep.
So the way that it played out for
Arkansas is not one of them, right?
No.
Darn.
Arkansas is mentioned though. So take some pride in that, boys.
Yes.
So the way that mine played out when I went through all the predictions is Alabama was the number 1 going into the conference game at a 10-2. Georgia right behind them at a 10-2. LSU in third, 10-2. Ole Miss 10-2. Texas 10-2. Tennessee 10-2, and Missouri 10-2. For conference winner, hey, let's look. Let me look around the room real quick, just making sure he's not here. I don't see any comments. He's probably not on Discord. All right. I do have Georgia winning the conference. Don't tell Chad. I don't need a go Dogs in the chat right now. But I do have Georgia winning the conference. In terms of the Arkansas mention, just because I want to feel a little spicy, I do have Arkansas beating Ole Miss completely randomly. I was like, you know what? I could see that just being one of those random ass games that happen in college football, where they randomly catch a dub because that's college football.
Yep.
Beyond that, though, like Alabama, I have them losing to Tennessee, LSU. I have Georgia losing to Alabama, Texas. I have LSU losing to Ole Miss, Florida. Ole Miss losing to Arkansas, Georgia. Texas losing to Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Tennessee losing to Oklahoma and Georgia. And Missouri losing to Texas A&M and Alabama. Like, literally, they're just cannibalizing themselves. This is going to be a wild-ass conference.
You have Missouri losing to Texas A&M?
Yep.
Really?
I also have Texas A&M beating Texas.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay, I want what Ohio is smoking, and I want what Alex is smoking right now. All right, so that's two of them. Okay, wow.
The whole state of Ohio plus Alex is what you're saying.
Exactly. The whole state of Ohio plus Alex. All right, I do have Georgia and Ole Miss at 11-1. I think Georgia will find a way to get that dub to actually win the conference championship. However, they're going to do it. I have Tennessee going 11-1. I've got Alabama and Texas going 10-2, and then the rest of the way goes. It's just random down the rest of the way. And then of course we'll get into Arkansas here in a little bit, but I have Oklahoma, Auburn, and LSU going 9-3. I have Missouri going 8-4. I had them sliding just a little bit compared to last year. Kentucky 7-5, Florida 6-6, South Carolina 5-7, Texas A&M. I only have Texas A&M winning 4 games this year. Yeah, they're not going to be very good this year, Alex. I don't think they're going to be very good this year.
It's college football, baby.
Mississippi State 3-9, and my Vanderbilt Commodores 2-10.
Woo! Here we go. What'd you have Arkansas going?
We'll get to that later.
Okay, fine. Shane, what about you?
I've got a Texas-Tennessee championship game. I think Tennessee gets it. I just think Nico's just that fucking guy. I'm gonna be real.
Nico is a dog.
I think Nico's just that guy. I mean, just like y'all said about the Big Ten, I mean, there could easily be 4, 5, 6 SEC teams making up this fucking college football playoffs. Now, of course, that depends on what other conferences do, but, I mean, you've got Alabama, you got Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Georgia. I mean, that's just the top half of the conference there.
Right.
And there could be some arguments on some middle of the pack teams. LSU, Ole Miss, Missouri. Hell, I mean, I'd be even surprised. I mean, if Auburn's not in that conversation, but I do have Tennessee winning it over Texas.
Apparently, Auburn's going to make a big leap this year, is what I understand.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah, I've understood they're going to make a pretty big leap, so we'll see about that. Jacob, what about you? What do you got going on for the SEC? You're muted. You're unmuted.
I got Ole Miss and Tennessee, with Ole Miss winning it. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but I don't have Oklahoma winning over 6 games.
I agree.
So Oklahoma, let's see here. Let me pull up their schedule. So I do have them going 9-3. And so let's see here. Temple, Houston, Tulane should all 3 be wins. Auburn, I gave them a toss-up with Auburn. I think Oklahoma's going to be better defensively. I think that's why they're going to be able to beat. Auburn. I gave them a random Texas win because that rivalry, you have no clue what's going to happen. And then, of course, they have South Carolina, Maine, Missouri, Alabama. Of course, I have them losing to Alabama, and then LSU. They do not have a fairly tough schedule outside of some of those teams that I mentioned that they're going to lose to.
I gave Tulane the dub against Oklahoma.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
And I love how Oklahoma is following suit and scheduling FCS teams, just like the weak SEC is.
They've scheduled one FCS team. One.
Yep. They're following the lead.
A lot of teams have scheduled FCS teams, my man.
It's an SEC tradition.
Yeah.
That conference will never get my respect until they stop doing that.
Are you out of your mind? They've won more national championships in the last 20-plus years than any conference.
It's because they usually have easy schedules.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
They
still win.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
They
especially
win!
non-conference schedules. Absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
Jacob, what they need to do is follow what the Big Ten does with the MAC. They need to schedule the Sun Belt instead of fucking D7 schools. Okay.
Absolutely agree with you.
So, first of all,
As far as I'm concerned, the SEC has funded the FCS Division II's fucking league
Yes,
for the last
they have.
30 years.
And that's why the Sun Belt struggles.
and and Ohio State does play Akron quite a bit. Akron is just like playing an FCS team, man.
And that's an FBS team. Thank you very much.
I
think
I
that
don't care.
games
They
against
don't
FCS
win.
schools, unless they are in the top 5 in the FCS, could
That's hard
not
to
count towards your total record.
That's hard to predict.
Okay, Jacksonville State and Kennesaw State are now Division I, but it's not any different than a Division II team coming into the SEC and playing an SEC school. There's
I think
no difference.
FCS should be separate from FBS entirely.
You can give me weak schedules all you want to, but the simple fact of the matter is the SEC is still the most dominant conference in college football, and they have proven it year after year after year, and they haven't gone anywhere. They haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah,
They're
it's 'cause
still
their
in the
non-conference
they're
schedules
still
are
in
weak as shit.
They win. They win championships. Where else are you gonna do it? They win championships. It's about
And
winning.
there's also an SEC bias as well.
Oh,
and
for
I'm
the
not
love
saying
of
there isn't a
God.
Big Ten bias either, because there is. There's a huge bias between the SEC and the Big Ten.
It's about getting the W. We're in a 14. We're about to be in a 12-team playoff, and even in the 14 playoff, you still had SEC teams winning, including Georgia and Alabama.
And this
and
is
they were
another
done.
reason why I do not agree with human beings picking which teams are in the playoffs.
Then why the hell are we gonna pick? We're gonna let computers do it?
Yep. Bring back the BCS, but in playoff
Hey,
format.
hey! Guess what happened when the BCS was picking? SEC was in it every year. Every year.
Okay. That was with 2 teams, though.
They still won. They still won. They still went by that system that you're talking about. Give them whatever system you want to. Let a terrible football show decide the top 12, all right? We've said it before. We'll say it again. Let a terrible football show do it.
This is a traditional northerner versus southerner argument here.
It is.
Yes. I will agree with you to an extent. But here's the thing. Why would any of these other teams, like big teams, want to play the SEC? Why? Why do you think they avoid them? Because they don't want to get beat. They don't want that against their record. Every team does it. There's every school. It doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's an FCS or it's a lower ranked FBS division level team like Akron, there's always going to be those wins. There's always going to be those teams that you can say, oh my gosh, this is a weak schedule. But yet at the end of the day, when you look at the SEC schedule, you see more teams ranked than any other conference. Maybe besides the Big Ten, because the Big Ten has power for power, matched some of their rankings over the years. But for the most part, the SEC has dominated. I don't care if it's bias or not. They still win. That's a fact. We'll look it up. That's a fact.
Let me restate what I said here and tweak it a little bit. I'm okay with humans picking it, but it should not be humans that are affiliated with any of the top 25 teams.
That's why I said a terrible football show should do it.
Yeah, Rick, I got a question though.
What?
When was the last time Arkansas went to the Northeast?
They were actually supposed to go to Notre Dame. They go back to Notre Dame. I think it's next year after. Yeah, so they
But
were
when have they actually went though? When was the last time they went?
to the Northeast.
Probably
It's
the
been
last time they won a
Rutgers.
natty.
Well, Rutgers
We
was,
played Rutgers back-to-back years.
and so
How long ago was that?
and we're talking about
2015,
Arkansas here, man.
2016.
We're talking about Arkansas, Tyler. Arkansas's not winning national championships.
I know what Tyler's going on about, and the SEC never likes to go to the North, it seems like.
Yes.
Very, very rare.
Yes, but once more,
Because they can't play out of their element. They can't play in the northern weather.
we're
They don't know how to
still
play in snow.
winning. We're still winning. It's just
Come
like
to the north.
it's just like the Saban deal. It's just like the Saban thing. Okay, everybody wanted to complain for years because Saban was winning. Why do people hate winners? I don't understand that. I'll never understand that. I don't like Ryan Day from Ohio State. He wins.
He's ugly.
He
You
wins.
just call him ugly?
Yeah.
I'm just saying he wins. I don't like him as like how he is personally. He's a great coach. Everybody knows that. But since when did we get in this delusion where winning took a back ride and we have to make excuses for it? But yet, and I'm making an NBA reference on a terrible football show, but when it comes to LeBron James and he loses, they want to make excuses for why he loses. It makes no sense to me. Ladies and gentlemen.
He should lose.
Ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
fucking hilarious when
Ladies
he
and
loses.
gentlemen.
I'm from Ohio.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a well-known fact. You have wins and you have losses. Do you prefer to win or do you prefer to lose?
Lose.
Lose.
You're out of your minds. And
Definitely
you prefer to
I would
lose.
rather lose to a great team than win against a subpar team.
I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to tell you. Stop coming up with excuses while one conference has been so dominant over the other just because their schedule. You got to play your schedule. It's part of it. I don't care if it's scheduled bias or not. They win. Or do they win or not? Regardless of schedule bias, do they win? Yes, they win. It's been a proven fact. Y'all wanted to get rid of the BCS because computers were doing it. Then they go to the 14 playoff, and guess what happens? We have a couple of Big Ten teams in Ohio State and Michigan. Ohio State won one with Urban Meyer, haven't won since, but yet we want to keep on making the same excuse year after year. The SEC still dominates the college football playoff.
Hey, we had more than just Ohio State and Michigan in there, though. We had Michigan State made a run.
I'm just saying in general. Why is it that we have got this generation where we make excuses for winners because of their schedule that they have to play, and we want to make excuses for losers why they're losers? I don't understand that. Like
Again,
there's
I agree
nothing
with what Tyler said.
there's
If you
nothing.
guys are going to have a soft non-conference schedule, at least schedule Sunbelt teams, because I know you guys don't like coming out of the South. I know you guys don't. So at least
They
schedule
do
Sunbelt
that, though.
teams
That's the
instead of
thing, though.
FBS.
They do that. And guess what happened? People complained about it. Because if you remember, what was it, last year? Year before, on this show, we talked about how much the Sun Belt and the SEC were going head-to-head against each other. And a lot of it is because, the guy who, I don't know if he still does or not, but the head of officials for the SEC also used to schedule the Sun Belt. That's why they were able to play each other like that. So I'm just saying, why are we making excuses for those who win? Who gives a damn if they're playing FCS teams? I can name a lot of teams. I know. I can name a lot of teams who schedule weak teams. It's going to happen.
It's like a high school team playing a middle school team.
No, it's not. It's not even close.
Here, I'll say this one thing. This is my opinion on it, right? You have what, 14 teams in the SEC, right? They all schedule one FCS school typically. I mean, teams like Vanderbilt, the lower end schools, they'll do two in a year, right? But still, at the end of the day, the reason why we have the ability to schedule that one FCS school per team typically is because we're still the toughest conference, and you can pick our top 10 schools and put them in any conference in the country, and they're still going to be in that top 10, regardless of put them in the Big Ten from last year, minus Ohio State and Michigan. Those teams are going to be right there.
Well, we're not going to count Michigan. I'm going to put that out there for everybody. Don't even count Michigan's record for the last 3 years.
Oh, come on. Here we go again.
It's way too
Lord
up in
have
the air
mercy.
right now.
It may
to
end up
even
getting
say that
revoked
they were
anyway.
dominant.
It may end up getting revoked, but once again.
I can't use examples from something that hasn't happened yet, so that's why I'm going to the past, right? And you can even say yourself, for the last 7-8 years, the only true threats consistently in the Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan. The bottom 12 teams of that fucking conference might as well be Sunbelt. Same way with the Big 12.
Yeah, you do got a point there. I ain't gonna lie.
The same way with the Big 12.
Just say.
Minus four schools, You might as well have them in the fucking ACC.
It's impossible. I will say that so many times because there are so many teams in the FBS. It's impossible for every team to play each other every single year. It's nearly impossible to do. That's why you have FCS schools that are scheduled in. And yes, some of them are guaranteed wins. Yes, they're allowed to schedule one. Now the bowl game.
Bye week.
Now the bowl committee used to have a rule that if you played an FCS school, it would basically if there was a tiebreaker with a team that was 6-6, and that other 6-6 team had an FCS school win, that FBS school would get in. So yes, even though the schedule bias or whatever that you call it has been implemented, there's still ways around that. So yes, I agree. But here's something else. Not many teams from the North come south. I know Michigan came down to play Alabama in a neutral site game, but we don't see many teams from the North come down in the South. Not like
we usually go out west. You guys don't really treat us well down there.
It's because it's the South.
I don't think the South treats anyone well.
Not
Football,
Man, I would
football or not.
love to see one of the SEC teams come up north and play in a snow game. I would love to see that.
I would too.
Oh, wait. They wouldn't even be able to drive up here in the first place. You guys don't know how to drive in the snow.
Now that is true. That is a true statement.
All I'm saying is,
The only good thing about Northern people is they
I'll
like
see
Pepsi.
you
and Coke.
guys in the national championship this year.
All right. I'm
Yeah, we're doing
gonna
that.
take this back on the tracks. I'll let you guys have your fun a little too long. Let me follow up on some comments. So, gonna follow up on the comments, but let's not dive into them too much because we went off the rails.
We're diving into them.
We went off the rails. All right, we went off the rails. Let's be honest here. So the first one, this is from Kirito, who's been in the chat. Remind me, by the way, Ricky, he's got some questions for you. I said I would ask them at the end of the show,
Okay.
so we don't completely.
Who
get
is
off.
this?
Kirito, the basketball stuff.
Yes, let's
So
do it.
I'll ask him at the end of the show, so we don't derail too much. So SEC give college football the most money. More SEC schools in the playoffs equals more fans on glued to the TV and packed out stadiums equals millions and billions of dollars. I mean, that's fair. I mean, that's you have more of like the SEC teams in the college football playoff, and you're going to get more money. I mean, we see that every year. The other one, Jacob. This one seems to be directed at you, I believe. So this one says Alabama beats Wisconsin at Wisconsin. Keep that same energy, and your beard makes you a Walmart version of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
I will keep that same energy because at least they will beat a quality upper echelon team.
Oh
Fair.
Lord, Wisconsin's not that great, anyways. Lord have mercy.
Also, Tyler, I have a fucking question. You son of a bitch. You better answer it honestly. Did you tell Chad to come in the chat and say dogs on top? Because I asked Chad and he didn't answer. So you tell me the truth. Did you text him and tell him to come?
I did not text him.
Don't lie to me.
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
Because like a few minutes after I said that, like I look over, he's like dogs on top, and I'm like, Tyler, this son of a bitch. I bet he texted Chad, told him to come.
No, yeah, I ain't talked to him since like 1 o'clock.
All right, I'll take your word for it, but I want you to know
8 o'clock this morning, my fault.
you're kind of sus right now, and I might eject you from this ship. So I'm just gonna shout out to Among Us. I'm just gonna keep that known that you're kind of sus right now.
Oh my gosh.
Are we done with SEC? Like, I don't even remember who. Where are we at on predictions? What's happening? Who's doing their predictions right now?
I think Jacob finished last. I think we're done with SEC predictions.
Yeah, I said Ole Miss versus Tennessee with Ole
Okay.
Miss winning.
Okay, so did everyone get their predictions out?
I mean, I didn't. But,
Okay, Tyler, go ahead. Throw them out. Let's get back on
Okay.
track.
Number 1, Texas. They're the best team. It don't even fucking matter. Okay. Number 2, LSU. With their loss to Ole Miss. Ole Miss was getting some dubs, I ain't gonna lie. Then I got like 2 teams with 2 losses, 3 teams with 3 losses. But I realized that I did not have Bama anywhere on my list. So I went to look at their record. Bro, I got them going 6-6. and I'm riding with it.
All right. Sorry, I was responding to something. All right. Okay. Ricky,
Sir,
Shane. All right. You guys already went on a massive tangent. You're not allowed to do another one. What's your Arkansas predictions? You're not allowed a tangent. We already went on a tangent.
but I want to go on a tangent.
But let's hear what you guys think.
Dadgummit, my thing's waiting to load. Go ahead, Shane.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll make it simple. This team can go 2-10, or this team can go 7-5. I don't see us being any better than that, unless we somehow upset a team or two. I think 7-5 is our ceiling this season. I think Sam Pittman's in a really bad position. I think he's a great guy and a great coach, but unfortunately, I think the fan base is ready for our offensive coordinator to be the coach, and it wouldn't be surprised if we start out bad here. If we start out, 1-3 1-3 non-conference play, with our only win being UAPB, and let's say we lose to Oklahoma State and lose to UAB,
Okay.
which is a possibility. I
Yeah.
mean, we've lost to North Texas by more. We've lost to Colorado State before. It's not anything that would be a surprise. But if we start off like that and we start off 0-3 in conference play, you can see Sam Pittman out the door and Bobby Petrino being named interim head coach, and then we'll see from there. But I think 7-5 is Arkansas' ceiling. 2-10 would probably be the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all just depends on how much our offense improves. I mean, I think we can agree that there have been times that our offense has just completely let our defense down, and so I'm hoping that this year we won't have that. So I mean, yeah, there's just so many what ifs with this team because KJ transferred. He's at Central Florida now. From my understanding, we have decent depth at wide receiver, just not a ton of speed. So and usually, as far as the patterns that Bobby Petrino likes to run, I don't know how that's going to play out. I do know that we saw Texas A&M have a great offensive year last year, or what was it last? Yeah, last year when he came in, and even though Texas A&M lost, lost, and eventually Jimbo was fired, we could probably see a similar situation with Sam Pittman this year, and so I do have Arkansas going 7-5. But I could see us going 3-9. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I can see you guys going 2-10.
I could see us going to. I could also see us going 2-10.
Like Jesus Christ, I can see you guys literally starting off like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can see you 9. I can see you guys starting 1-9.
So here's the thing: UAB. I have circled that game because that is a game that if we lose that game and start 1-2. Sam Pittman's probably just going to be gone right after that because it's going to be no point. It's going to be pointless after that. I'll put it to you this way: if we lose to Pine Bluff at War Memorial Stadium, his wife is going to have the car ready to go, packed up with all the everything, all the everything like that, and they're going to have movers and U-Hauls and things like that, and they're just going to move over to Hot Springs where his retirement home is. That's a fact. That's a guarantee. Write it down if that happens. It's not going to happen, but write it down if it happens. But here's the thing though. I'm not as high on Texas A&M as you are, Alex. I'm really not. I think Texas A&M could be a win. I do have us losing to Tennessee and LSU. I do have us beating Mississippi State. I have us beating La Tech, and I have us beating Missouri at the end of the year. I'm not going to tell you who else I have them beat. We're just going to wait as the season plays out before I give my other upset pick.
I will say one thing that hurts Arkansas here. I mean, we all know KJ left, but also we lost our biggest 3 running back contributors over the last 3 years. We lost Raheem to South Carolina, lost AJ Green to Oklahoma State, and lost not AJ Green, but Dominique Johnson to TCU. Really the only skill positions returning here is going to be our receivers. And even then, I mean, they weren't the best contributors last year. I don't think we had anybody over 500 yards last year. And we all know how bad our offensive line was last year, so they've got to severely improve.
Okay. All right, you guys ready to hit to the group of 5? Start running through this?
Let's do it.
All right, we are an hour and 20 in, FYI. Before we hit the group of 5, let me shout out Agent Inc. You can use the referral link down below. Pick up one of our 2 hats as well as one of our jerseys. Still need to update ATFS and Gamesthetic. My bad. I've been very lazy on this front. But you can still pick up the Sparky 3 jersey or the AniMan Plus jersey as well as one of the hats. You can get the trash can hat, which is great. But then also you could also check out Sparky3shop.com. We got stuff over there too. And another shout out before we continue, because I am great at remembering shout outs. I meant to do this at the top of the show. Shout out to all of course, the Hall of Fame class this year. Very excited on that front with my favorite player of all time being inducted into the Hall of Fame, Devin Hester, as well as another Bear, Steve McMichael, another Hurricane, Andre Johnson. Got a good class this year, as well as Hard Knock starts tonight featuring the Chicago Bears. So,
oh Lord,
excited for that. But I got to tell you guys, just all kind of off topic, real quick, and we'll start going to the American. Seeing all the news that Devin got into the Hall of Fame, man, it was very surreal for me. I mean, that's still my favorite player of all time. So seeing that he finally got in, him being a specialist and not a traditional, great wide receiver or DB, it was very surreal. So that was super awesome to see. Shout out to Devin Hester, man, deserved. All right, boys, let's hit the American. Let's kind of go through this. I have a clear front winner. But I do think it's going to kind of vary. Like I think we can see a lot of possibilities across the board. I think there could be a few swing games. But I think if you say anyone but Memphis, I'm not sure what you're looking at for the American. I'm sorry. Like that's my opinion. If you say anyone but Memphis, I'm not sure what you're looking at. I mean, there are some swing games, sure, for some of these teams that can kind of push them up a little bit further. But man, I think Memphis is the clear runner for this conference. I have them going 11-1. Their only loss to Florida State, Tulane 8-4, Kansas State, OU, ULM, and Memphis. USF 8-4 to Bama, Miami, Memphis, Tulane, UTSA 8-4, Texas, Memphis, North Texas, and Army, and UAB 7-5 with losses to Arkansas, Tulane, Army, USF, and Memphis. I think Memphis to me is the clear winner, but I can see some swing across the board. It's going to be that runner-up spot. It's going to be the real interesting one. You know what I mean? Like I feel like Memphis is that clear number 1, but who's going to be the runner-up? Who's going to go to the conference game and give them a run for their money? That's what's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you as far as Memphis goes, being the clear runner. And I'll say this much: if they end up shocking the world and beating Florida State, they will be that group of 5 that gets in, and they still could very well be that group of 5 that gets in, depending on who else finishes up. I have Tulane, UTSA going 9-3. I have Army going 8-3. I think Army's going to be pretty good this year. I think they're going to be a lot better than what people have actually said to be. I have South Florida going 8-4. ECU, Rice, Florida Atlantic all going 7-5. North Texas, UAB 6-6. Navy and Temple, Navy 3-8, and Tyler's favorite team, Temple 2-10.
Fuck Temple. Tyler, can we get a fuck Temple from you here today?
Fuck Temple.
There we go. Love to hear it.
Oh, and I have Tulsa and North Carolina, Charlotte getting 1-11, both of them.
We said North Carolina, Charlotte. That one got me. I ain't gonna lie.
I meant Charlotte. Yeah, you know what I meant. That's technically the name of their school. University of North Carolina, Charlotte. That is technically the name of their school.
Man, you being real technical. With these
We're going to be
names
technical.
today.
Virginia Military Institute.
Yeah,
How does nobody know that?
I mean, I knew what it was, but man, she's like, you being technical here today.
Charlotte going 0-12.
Do what?
Charlotte's going 0-12 with the way they make these routes at Coke.
All right, boys. What else? What do you guys have for American? Let's go around the room. Go on the class.
So for American, I have the conference championship game being Memphis and Tulane, and I have Tulane winning over Memphis barely.
Okay.
But it not making much of a difference. I think Memphis still has a strong stance when it comes to the college football playoffs this year.
Okay. Chad, that may answer your question there. I will say, I for Chad's question, it's like who outside of Power 4 going to the college football playoff? I feel like my answer will be determined on that with Memphis or one other school. So we'll get to that here in just a moment.
I actually agree with Jacob. I think in Memphis, Tulane, and I think Tulane wins it. I like the Green Waves, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right.
They're a really good team last year. They surprised a lot of people. I can see them winning it.
Okay. Tyler, what about you? What you got for the American here today, my friend?
So I have Memphis and North Texas tied at 10-2.
What?
Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
And on the paper, I wrote down North Texas above Memphis. So fuck it, let's ride with that. I'm gonna go North Texas gonna win it.
Okay.
Shout out
if
to the
we-
Mean Green.
I swear, if this is a year where North Texas and Georgia Tech win their conferences respectively,
Weirdest year in college football history.
it will be.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, North Texas does have the GOAT's son as their quarterback, so you know he's got that going for him.
Yeah, Morris.
Yeah, Chandler Morris could fall and break a fucking leg. Please.
Well, okay, well, we're not going to wish injuries here.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Really?
I mean, look, this is a stage, okay? You know, when you go out there, hey, break your leg, kind of thing.
All right, let's move on. Conference USA. This is another conference to me that I feel like there is a very strong, clear front winner. And to me, that's Liberty, which answers Chad's question of, who outside Power 4 going to college football playoff. I think it'd either be Memphis at 11-1 or Liberty at an 11-1 or a 12-0. Their one potential loss to me is Appalachian State, just because, it's what Appalachian State loves to do. They love to play upset. And that's going to be a tough game for Liberty, but I could see Liberty going 12-0, man, and I could see them going to the college football playoff. Beyond that, West Kentucky 9-3 with loss to Alabama, Toledo, Liberty, and Jacksonville State, second year in the FBS, with a 9-3 with Louisville, Liberty, and West Kentucky losses. But I do have Liberty coming out on top for the conference.
Yeah, I basically have the same thing you do, minus the record. And to tell you the truth, I really think if Liberty does go undefeated, even depending on how well Florida State ends up playing, because that's usually how it's going to be. It's going to be how you not only your record, but who your record is playing against, basically who the teams that you're playing are playing against. And that's going to take a huge factor. And I have been able to explain that with the playoff committee accurately every single year on why some teams get in and some teams don't. Now, so I even if Liberty does go 12-0, I will agree with them going undefeated. They should be in. However, don't be surprised if Memphis, with the one loss to Florida State, could possibly get in, depending on how well they play Florida State.
Sure.
And so I honestly believe if both teams go 11-1, there's no doubt in my mind it's going to be Memphis getting in. Yep. So I just want to shout that out. And then just like you, West Kentucky and then Jacksonville State, I've got them both going 10-2 respectively.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. I think this is Liberty's conference to lose, and it'll stay that way.
I think Liberty and Sam Houston are going to play in the championship game for this one.
Sam Houston.
I like it.
Now, here's why I say Sam Houston, and that is because, yes, they had a 3-9 record last season, but 6 of those games were by 10 points or less, loss-wise. I think they're going to take the necessary jump to get over that hurdle. They're not going to beat Liberty, but we're gonna see a glimpse of what's to come with Sam Houston.
I have Sam Houston winning 5 games, but I would also understand that because, like you said, with the single-digit losses and everything like that, yeah, I could see the total opposite as well. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Tyler, what about you?
I'm gonna go Liberty's gonna win it, and the second team will be where Big Jeff played football at Western Kentucky, and Liberty's gonna beat them 70-0 in week 13.
Oh
because
my God!
fuck
He's
Western
calling
Kentucky.
shots. This Jeff guy's in chat, and Tyler's just firing shots.
Jeff, he got hurt and they took a scholarship, so he's also team fuck Western Kentucky.
Oh, okay, all right, perfect. I'm glad it works out then.
Yeah, so
Golly.
that's my 2 teams.
Okay, all right. Shout out. All right, next up, the MAC. Another one that I think is pretty straightforward because I think it's down between two teams, and those two teams I think will be a flip of the coin who wins it. That being Toledo and Miami, the fake Miami of Ohio. We already had the Battle of Miami. That was already decided. We know who's the real Miami. Both going 10-2, but I do have the fake Miami coming out on top as the conference winner. But that's going to be a very close game.
I also have Miami, Ohio going on top, but I have them beating Northern Illinois in the championship. I think Northern Illinois has a favorable schedule in their conference this year for them to be able to make a pretty good run. But Toledo, it's going to come down to them, Toledo, in my opinion. So depending on how that situation goes out.
I have Miami of Ohio and Bowling Green making the championship game, and with my dark horse pick to make the college football playoffs this year, I have Miami of Ohio winning the MAC.
Wait, did you say they're going to make the college football playoff?
I said they are my dark horse team as far as the group of five goes.
Okay, I got you.
Because I have them going 11-1 with their only loss coming to Notre Dame.
The only thing I thought of just now was Tyler just be like, do you see Bowling Green winning anything?
Yeah, actually, I see them winning 9 games this year.
I struggle with Bowling Green. I'm not going to lie to you. I struggle. I have them going 7-5, but that's respectable.
They've made bowl games consecutive years.
Sorry.
Once again, I will somewhat agree with Jacob here. I think it comes down to Toledo, Miami, Ohio. I think Toledo wins it though. But hey, I'm just saying, let's give some NIU some love here. And I will always be somewhat of an NIU fanboy. Hopefully they win something.
I was at one point in time.
Then you became a Cougar fan.
Absolutely.
Hey, we're all fans of them Cougars.
All right, Tyler, what's your prediction on the MAC? It's favorite conference.
Okay. So, favorite conference, that is correct. I feel like, how many teams are in this motherfucker? 2, 4, 3, 8, 10, 12. Out of the 12 teams, there is absolutely one team that will not win this motherfucker. And it is the atrocious Bowling Green Falcons that they can go FCS for all I give a shit.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Hang on, stop. What is it with you and Bowling Green? I already know about Temple because you have this fake rivalry between them and Penn State. What is it about Bowling Green?
You can't have green in your name and have absolutely zero green.
Thank
in your
you.
logo or anything
Thank you. It bugs the shit
It's a
out of me.
township.
Exactly.
It's a township. It doesn't have to do with anything with it.
Who gives a shit?
it's a
You had a
township.
layup. You had a layup and you miss it. That bugs the shit out of me. I didn't want to say it because I don't know why there's no green. I didn't want to that bugs the crap out of me. I'm glad someone said it because that annoys the fuck out of me.
Golly, yeah, I agree with Jacob. You don't never.
There's already plenty of green in the MAC. I'll be honest with you. There's plenty of green
Who
in the
gives a
MAC.
shit?
Especially
Thank you.
if they
Their
add
name is
Marshall back
green.
into the mix. There's plenty of green.
Their name is green. They need
They
green.
are named after a township,
Who gives
and they
a
are
shit?
also named after a Native American tribe. So
There you go.
Okay.
I agree with Jacob.
Okay.
There we go. Next.
Another reason they're not going to win it. Have you not seen their week 2 and week 4 matches at Penn State, at Texas A&M?
You mentioned
I
two
never said they were
teams.
gonna win.
Hey, fuck them.
You mentioned 2 teams. Really?
Not 2 and 10. They got some easy
Hey,
games.
you
I
want
got-
to put that down as a prediction? You want that to be the first prediction of the year? That Bowling Green's gonna go 2-10.
They're going 4 and 8. How about that?
So let me.
Look at you backtracking.
So
They still got Fordham, Akron, and Western Michigan. But other than that, yeah, they can.
Hey, Western Michigan's gonna do some work this year. You need to worry about Central and Eastern Michigan. They suck.
So let me ask you this,
Well-
Tyler. So since their name is Bowling, and Bowling Green, should they just have uniforms and put a green bowling ball on it? Would you have more respect
Speaking of bowling, I do need to look up if they have a bowling team.
Oh God!
Because if they don't, I'm tripling down on the fuck Bowling Green situation.
I'm not going
I
on a
agree.
tangent or anything. Not going on a tangent.
I'm
but
looking this up.
Does a Nittany lion even actually exist? Are they
Thank
a real
you.
animal?
Yes, it's a lion that has a fucking sweater or whatever, the scarf, whatever they call it. It's cold in Pennsylvania, man. Come on now.
I've never personally seen a Nittany lion before in my life.
Y'all are on a fucking tree. Y'all,
Yeah,
that's what y'all
yeah,
are.
you're poisonous. You eat us, you're dead.
Oh my gosh, I swear.
Okay, Mountain West now.
Oh yeah, we do need to move on, don't we?
And by the way, they do not have a bowling
Our
team.
two conferences.
They don't have a bowling green. They don't have a bowling team,
well.
Tyler.
Fuck them even more. How about that?
I agree. That's how I'm on your
You're
side.
killing me.
I'm on
What's
your side.
next?
All right,
What's
Mountain
next?
West. Mountain West. For Mountain West,
It's
I
gonna
think.
be Ohio, Miami, Ohio. By the way.
All right, yeah, there we go. So for the Mountain West, I think this is going to be a pretty competitive conference within themselves, but you're not going to have any like strong teams come out of it. I'm sorry, you're just not. So my conference winner is Boise State. I have them coming in second going into the conference championship game. I have UNLV with an 8-4, Boise State with an 8-4, Air Force 7-5, Fresno 7-5, and then of course my Bows. Love my Bows. I got my Bows going 6-6 this year, with losses to UCLA, San Diego State, Boise State, Washington State, Fresno State, a lot of states, and UNLV.
So I have UNLV winning the conference, going 9-3. I've got Colorado State at 8-4, Air Force 9-3. Boise State. I almost said Bowling Green. Boise State and Fresno State both going 7-5. I've got San Diego State, Wyoming, and Hawaii going 6-6. San Jose State, Utah State 3-9, Nevada 1-12, New Mexico 0-12.
Oh my gosh!
Oh damn.
So I know I've been pretty high on Boise State lately. I think this Boise State's team is going to be fantastic this year, but I think they're going to lose some games that they really shouldn't lose compared to the other teams that they've been winning against on my schedule at least. I have Boise State and UNLV. I have UNLV winning, and I have UNLV being the Group of 5 champion to go to the college football playoffs.
Really? Interesting.
Okay. Tyler, Shane, what about you guys?
I actually have the same. Barry Odom fan, of course. Even though he comes from Missouri prior before us, but what he's done in just 1 year, I believe, at UNLV, I mean, he's improved that team a lot. I do think it comes down to Boise State and UNLV, and I think UNLV wins it. If they get into the playoff, that between them and Memphis, I think it's close. But I mean, yeah.
Let me say one thing. The reason why I have UNLV in the college football playoffs over Memphis is because of beating Boise State, who will subsequently beat top teams that I already previously stated in the past. Boise State will be highly ranked when UNLV beats them.
Okay, makes sense. UNLV needs to get some key wins, though. You know, if that's going to be the case, they need to beat Kansas. They're going to need to beat like Syracuse. They're going to need to beat Oregon State, Fresno State. You know, they're going to need to beat some key wins there. Boise, obviously, they're going to. Whenever the Boise game comes, going to have to beat that one. So, Tyler, what about you, buddy? How do you have the Mountain West playing out, and how do you have your Wyoming Cowboys going?
Well, seeing as Wyoming is not gonna win it, I'll start with them.
Okay.
I had Wyoming going a whopping 8-4 with losses to BYU, San Diego, Colorado State, and Boise State. So yeah, there are some upsets. And then let's see who I have winning this. I have UNLV and Boise State, both 9-3. And I'm going to say UNLV wins just because, fuck it. Let them ride.
Tyler, isn't it really disappointing that we don't have our Hawaii UNLV game this year? I mean, a Hawaii Wyoming game this year. It's very sad.
It is very something.
Yeah.
Party.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
But also, I have Hawaii going 4-8, just for future reference.
Wow, thanks. Appreciate that, buddy.
I think Hawaii's schedule favors them a little bit more this year than it has in the past couple of years.
I mean, yeah, I think we have a very strong possibility to
They
start
don't play
off
Vanderbilt.
fuck off. In my mind, we should start off 3-1. And then after that's where it's going to get pretty tough and kind of go off the rails a little bit. But, we'll see how it goes. All right, boys. Final conference and the only conference that has divisions, the Sun Belt. So I have, for the conference winner, I have Appalachian State from the East with a 9-3 record with losses to Clemson, ECU, and Marshall. I got James Madison right behind them with losses to UNC, Coastal, and Appalachian State. And then for the West, I have Texas State at a 9-3 with Arizona State, Troy, and Louisiana as their only losses. And in second place in the West, I got Arkansas State with an 8-4 record with losses to Michigan, Iowa State, South Alabama, and Texas State.
So you and I have very, very similar, very similar standings, but I have different records. I've got App State, and I have App State going 10-2 with losses to Clemson and I think Liberty. I have them losing to Liberty. Those are the only two losses that I have for them. Texas State, I also have them going 10-2 with losses to UTSA. Where's my second? Oh, and I have them losing to, where was it? I had them losing randomly to South Alabama at the end of the year. And then I also have Arkansas State going 8-4, one of my other favorite teams. If I can pull their schedule up, that'd be even better. Come on. Arkansas State, I have them losing to Michigan, Iowa State, Texas State, and I had them losing to the Raging Cajuns.
Cool.
So I have Marshall coming out of the East. Or wait, the West, right?
No, they're in the East.
Yeah, East.
They're in East. Okay. I have Marshall coming out of the East, and I have Arkansas State coming out of the West, both 10-2. I have Marshall losing to Virginia Tech and Ohio State. I have Arkansas State losing to Michigan and Iowa State. I have Arkansas State winning the conference.
Wait, you have who winning the conference?
Thank you.
Arkansas State.
Thank you, sir. And it's setting up for a 2025 showdown. I think it's week 1, Arkansas State versus Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken.
Which Arkansas State's more than likely going to win?
Probably so. Probably so.
All right, Shane, what about you, buddy?
I think y'all got a lot of faith in Arkansas State team that went 4-4 in conference last year and didn't really play that well. But
dude, they had a huge improvement last year.
Hornsby this year.
They have 10 starters coming back on offense.
Yeah, I think that QB for him can be kind of pretty cold this year. He won't stay with Arkansas State all the way through his college career, probably, but he can be cold this year.
I've got James Madison coming out of the East.
Respect.
And I've got either Texas State or Troy coming out of the West. If I was to pick out of the West, it'd probably be Troy. And then I have James Madison winning it.
Okay. Tyler, what about you, buddy?
So out of the East, I have James Madison going 8-4. There's a lot of 8-4s there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Same.
And then coming out of the West, I have Texas State 8-4. So I think Texas State. I think they're gonna win it all. So
I think it's a good chance. Yeah. I like App State still, but I definitely can acknowledge Texas State because that's who I have at my top in the West. I think Texas State can be a little deadly this year in the Sun Belt. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I think there was one team that you guys kept bringing up that I think is going to take a major leap backwards this season, and that's because they're only returning 4 starters and they have a new head coach, and that is Troy.
Yeah, I think I've got Troy going 7-5.
I don't have them making a bowl game this year.
Let me see. Who do I have them losing to? I have them losing to Memphis, Iowa, Texas State, Arkansas State, Coastal Carolina, and the Raging Cajuns. I have them going 6-6. I think they're going to beat everybody else. Southern Mississippi's not very good. Georgia Southern's not going to be very good this year. South Alabama, that's a toss-up. Monroe is going to be horrible. Florida A&M is going to be horrible. Nevada's going to be horrible. I could see the 5-7, but 6-6, I think is their ceiling.
Well, boys, we did it. We made it through all of our college football predictions. Shout out to that.
We're back, baby.
That's right.
All the way back. Way too early. Natty prediction. Anyone want to throw that out?
We talking winner or we talking matchup?
You can do both if you want. I don't care. You know, do what you want, man. Do what feels right. Stroke yourself however you want to stroke yourself, Bubba.
Hey, yo.
Lord have
Oh,
mercy.
damn.
Me personally, that's a little too difficult. Me personally, I would have to break it down and actually get a what the playoffs going to look like.
Fire
and
from the
then
hip,
go
baby.
there.
This is an official, you know.
All right, I got mine. I got my matchup. Ohio State, Ole Miss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Who wins?
I'm not gonna say because I know you're gonna throw it back in my face for being biased.
I've got Ohio
It's
State
okay,
winning
you
this
can say
year.
Ole Miss.
I'm not being biased. I got Ohio State win. You can predict your own team.
Listen,
2 years ago,
on paper, everything is lining up for Ohio State to win a natty this year, but something's gonna fucking happen. I know something's gonna happen.
yeah, I think they're going to beat Texas for the championship.
I
think
mean, if
Hold up.
Ole
You
Miss,
think Ohio State's gonna win the natty?
yeah,
Ricky, I love you.
He said that last year.
I said that too. No, I didn't say it last year. I can't remember. It wasn't Ohio State that I had last year. It was the year before. The year before, I had Ohio State going undefeated. I said no one's going to beat them, and then they lost 2 games. But anyway, this isn't the first time I predicted Ohio State to win the Natty.
I
One of them
mean,
on the review.
I will say this: if it's Ole Miss and Ohio State in the national championship game, I will wear a Troy Smith jersey during the college football national championship.
You just had
and
to
watch
go
it on
there.
stream. You can go ahead and write that down.
I'm writing that fucking shit down right now.
Let's see. All right, I'm gonna fire from the hip. So I'm gonna lock in one team, and I'm gonna lock in a couple other teams because I'm not sure who my pick's gonna be. The Ohio State Buckeyes, I think, are gonna do the Natty. My follow-up team, that's where it's tough. Georgia's gonna be in that conversation. I do not think Alabama will end up being in the conversation. They'll be in the playoffs, but I don't mean in the national championship conversation for me personally. I'm going to go with either Georgia or I'm going to go a Big Ten matchup, and I'm going to say Oregon.
I just think Georgia gets ate up big time.
SEC is going to cannibalize themselves.
It's gonna be tough.
I think Jacob froze. Oh, he did. Look at that handsome face that we got him stuck in. Oh, he's back.
Damn.
Hope we keep him there a little bit longer. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm going to say Ohio State, Georgia is a strong possibility. Only if Carson can take a leap. You know what I mean? If Carson can take a leap, I mean, he lost some key pieces. It's still Georgia. They're stacked. We know they're stacked. But if Carson can take the leap, then I think that's a good possibility. But then again, in terms of my prediction stuff, I mean, it could also be Texas. If Quinn balls out all year long, I mean, Texas could take the SEC and make a strong run for the championship. You know what I mean? But I mean, I definitely think the Buckeyes are going to be in that conversation. So, Tyler, did you shout yours out? I'm missing who all shot theirs out. Tyler, I think Shane did. Yeah, Shane did. Tyler, did you shout yours out?
No, I haven't.
All
I'm gonna give me the lock as Texas.
Ooh, that's the lock. Okay, here we go.
And then I got 3 teams that are floating around for that second spot. I'm gonna say fuck Florida State.
Unfortunate.
Let's go Georgia. And let's go with my national champion, Utah.
Oh, man, I'm not going to lie. I looked at Utah, and I'm like, dude, I want to say Utah's making it to the Natty. All right,
I will
look.
say, go ahead.
If Cam Rising can come back from that injury and go back to the form that he played at before, Utah can make a strong run. They have a great team. They have a great coaching staff, but Cam Rising hasn't played in like I saw it the other day. I was like, 400 something days or some shit. It was the last time he played because of injury.
You know what game that was?
Yeah, it was the bowl game, wasn't it?
Penn State.
Yeah, it was
Yo, yo.
Penn State. Yeah, that was your former QB's last game. Drawing a blank on his name.
Sean Clifford.
That's it. There you go. But if Cam Rising can come back and play at the high level that he did, then I can see Utah making. I mean, I have Utah going 11-1, but I could see Utah making a run legitimately. But
if there's any year for Florida State to actually make a run for the national championship, it's this year. This is their best year on paper with the roster that they have, the coaching staff that they have, the schedule that they have. This is the year for Florida State to win a national championship, but they're not going to.
Yep. Which
I mean,
thank God.
I don't think so either. Because I mean, look, we're expanded to 12 teams now. You may have an easy coast ride to get into the playoff, but at the end of the day, you got to go against either the Big Ten or the SEC at some point, and the ACC is not going to compete with those two conferences. I'm sorry.
Do we think, with whoever we think the group of five is going to be, the representative for the group of five, do we think that group of five wins the first round?
I think it depends on who they play.
Do you think there's a solid chance with the given like teams that we've already discussed making the playoffs and everything like that? Do you think there is a possibility?
All right, assuming like let's say in my case, it's going to be Memphis or Liberty, right? If they play one of the upper echelon teams, I'm going to say no. But I'm not going to hammer down they're going to get blown out by 43 touchdowns, right? I see them losing by like 2 touchdowns. I could see that, yeah. Now if they play one of like the a Power 5 school that gets in, but it's like one of the lower teams on the totem pole here in terms of how this year is going to play out. So like let's say our top teams, let's say hypothetically, are going to be like let's say Kansas State, right? Let's say Georgia, let's say Ohio State, and let's say Florida State, right? The Power 4 winners, all like 11-1, 12-0, 10-2, whatever, right? I could see that one of these Power 5 schools beating, like, I don't know, maybe maybe like Utah that gets in, maybe an Oklahoma State that gets in potentially, maybe one of these other SEC schools that gets in. If LSU gets in, beats them, I could see stuff like that. I don't see them beating Ohio State, Georgia. I don't see that happening.
I agree.
So
Either way, I'll be rooting for whoever's that 12 seed.
Same.
facts. Hey, it could be like my UAB Blazers that I saw in my dynasty go on and win. They were 12th seed, baby, and went on to beat Georgia in the Natty. What a wild situation, man. I pull up my bracket and I just see UAB there, and I just see UAB making a run, get all the way to the Natty versus Georgia and beat Georgia. I'm like, what the fuck was this team on? Jesus Christ. Oh, that's great. Shout out to College Football 25.
Should we talk about our league a little bit?
Yeah, our MAC league right now. I'm undefeated, and I'm about to probably lose 4 games straight here in the near future. Looking forward to that. Well, it's going to be all the PvP matchups. Hey, look, as long as I win every computer matchup, I'm in a bowl game, baby. That's all that matters. So I'm undefeated right now.
Tyler, you want to talk about that game?
Yeah, Tyler, you want to talk about it, buddy?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. If you wasn't over here trying to score 21 fucking points in the last minute and a half, it wouldn't be that bad.
You allowed my running back to score 6 times.
Good Lord.
Well,
dang.
Here's
the
the
MAC
thing.
record.
Alex knows me, okay? If I'm getting beat like that, I'm padding your stats, fam. I'm lining up in a field goal block. 1st and 10 on like the
He's helping you out.
This motherfucker, the very first kickoff, this motherfucker tries to lateral the ball.
Well, that's
Of course
what I
he
do.
did.
I mean, I'm getting blown the fuck out right now, but other than that,
Oh my God.
I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
Jesus Christ.
I did get 2 points, and I thought about it. I thought about leaving that 2 points on the scoreboard the entire game, but then I scored, so then I was at like 8. But you gotta admit,
didn't you get like a random safety?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You gotta admit, I did score that touchdown where I hold up. I just ran a kick return back, but I did score whenever I fumbled in the end zone.
Yeah.
That was a 100% touchdown, and they
You
gave
could have challenged it, man. You could have, but it was a fumble.
I thought it was gonna do it for me, man. Okay.
Tyler, apparently Chad says you're running from him. You won't play a game against him. What's going on, buddy?
Dude, I'm not enough.
Well, why not
I'm
play
just
right
trying
now?
to.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to catch some losses, catch some wins. You know, I'm trying to do something.
Build you up your confidence.
Start scheduling the FCS schools.
Yeah, pulling SEC.
Well,
Hey, I had a 4-star quarterback and running back commit to Ohio.
I had
In
I
our
think it was
dynasty?
a 3 or 4-star. I can't remember. I took a picture of it, but I don't know where it's at.
Jacob, in our dynasty, you did?
Yeah.
I've got a slew of 3 stars that I'm really excited for that are all gyms, and I'm pretty pumped about right
Okay.
now.
So that quarterback that, or I think he's a quarterback. Me and Jacob was actually in that quarterback battle. I had him visit, right? I put all my points on him because I was second, and then I had a bye week, and then during the bye week he was supposed to visit that next week, but during the bye week he committed fucking Jacob.
Yeah, he did. Because I
And his
had him
name-
visiting when I blew out Tyler.
And he's visiting, and his
Smart.
name was like Kamara or some shit.
Was he a running
But
back?
yeah. No, he was a quarterback. He's
He was
a
a
3-star.
quarterback.
He's a 3-star quarterback, but he was a gym, so he's basically a lower 4-star.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And
QB I'm
now,
watching
and
is
I'm
a gym.
still in a battle with a 3-star gym receiver with fucking Alex.
Are you? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Alex
I'm
is
going to have to go
pumping
look.
out fucking passing yards left and right.
Wait, what?
You are passing so fucking much.
Gunner's gunning it,
You
baby.
have so many passing yards every week. It is insane. I'm pretty sure your quarterback is leading the nation.
Yep.
Gunner's slinging it, baby. Gunner Gray.
All you gotta do is run prevent the entire game.
Hey, man. Look, I'll tell you, Gunner is he is very just okay. That man will piss me off with his accuracy at times. I will not lie to you. I throw the perfect pass, and it's still just like it's just too far ahead of him. I'm like, bruh.
The questions.
Yeah. Anyone else got any other football related things? If not, I'll hit some basketball stuff real quick, and we're gonna get out of here. Any other football takes we want to throw in there?
No, but I'm gonna go ahead and dip out. I've got to get my girls ready for bed.
Have a good one, buddy. See you next week.
Peace out.
All right, let me find out these questions. Boys, fire from the hip. Next week, NFC, AFC. What are we doing?
I will be late next week. Just letting you know.
AFC.
AFC it is.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're doing AFC next week, NFC after that.
Yep. We have open house next Tuesday.
All right, sounds good. If you just
And then
want
the
to send me...
following week, the 27th, that's the first week of predictions.
Oh yeah, it is. And also, the week after that may do the show on a different day. I don't know if we need to do it on the 20th, we can. I would like not to, but if we can, we got to do a different day. It's not a big deal. Or the same day, it's not a big deal. All right, so the basketball question from our good old pal Kirito, who seems to pop in every single week. Shout out to that. Appreciate you. I was needing some basketball tips. Let's see if I got this down. All right, so my friend / teammate is a point guard. He plays like Kemba Walker. Meanwhile, I share like a Chris Paul play style, and it makes the other teammates confused, to be honest, because of what each of us ask for, essentially. I asked my teammates to move around, do set picks and roll, or simple screen. And my friend and teammate is a good passer, but he did a lot. ISO drive to basket, and our coach likes me because I bring like a field general basketball IQ to the starting lineup. I play shooting guard though. Do you think I'm better as a 6-man, or am I good where I'm at?
So where's he currently at?
Shooting guard. He's currently starting shooting guard. And if he's starting shooting guard, I would say, stay where he's at. But I'm not a basketball coach. But
Yeah.
I kind of see where he's coming from, where it's just like you have two very conflicting kind of play styles to an extent. Where even though he's a shooting guard, he plays like a point guard, is I think what he's kind of saying, where he can run the court.
It's all based off your coach's philosophy. I just do what your coach. Obviously, you got to do what your coach tells you to do. If I was your coach, it'd be one thing. If it's all based off who your coach is. I would stick to it, but obviously you're probably going to be a point guard as well as a shooting guard anyway. If depending on what the rotation is, I don't even know who you play for. Like I didn't know what school you go to and all this stuff.
I have a feeling he's probably a high school student.
No, that's fine too. Like tell me tell me what school you go. Like in the chat, just tell me what school you go to.
Well, let's not do that. If he's a high school kid, let's not do that.
Okay, I mean that's one thing. Yeah, it just depends. I mean it all varies on what your coach wants. It's all based on the coach's philosophy. Every coach has different styles, different ways that they create things. We actually have a player right now. I'm not going to say his name, obviously, because he's in high school. But we have a high school player right now who is young and could somewhat be in the same scenario that you're in. But our coach puts him in the best place that he needs to be at, and it works. So it's all based on it's just all based on what the coach wants. And the way that we run things where I'm at, I mean, the way that I see it, we can have different point guards come up at different time. It's just based off what our set offenses are. So it's all based on what your coach does.
So I would probably say, just from understanding, stay where he's at. I don't, if he balls, don't be a six man.
I mean, well, here's the thing. There are some cases where being a sixth man is not all bad.
Yeah.
I'll give you my philosophy. My philosophy is I should have a sixth man who should be just as good as my starters.
Right.
And it's all based off matchups, who we're playing, matchups, things of that nature. And like I said, it just depends on what the coach wants. If you feel like the current point guard is going to get more minutes, if you're not going to come off the bench as a sixth man very much, then I would stay where you're at shooting guard and start. If you feel like you could contribute to the team better, and if your coach feels like you could contribute to the team better as a sixth man, then do that. But do what your coach wants. Always do what your coach wants. There's a reason the coach puts you in situations like that, and it's just going to improve you along the way.
Yeah, that's a coach's answer, baby. Boom, let's go. All right, boys. That's going to wrap it up.
Is that the only question?
Yeah, that was it. That was the only question. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of ATFS. We're officially back weekly, boys. Shout out. Let's go. Here we go.
Woo. And back I can't weekly. Sign off early, so shove it.
Yeah, he's here till all the way to the end. I don't know. He can say that. He can fucking roll out of here real quick. He can just grab all the shit and run without even saying bye to me. I mean, it's totally possible. But, we'll do AFC predictions next week, NFC after that, and then the 27th will be the first week where we get to do some actual predictions, and looking forward to that. We'll do our fantasy draft. Probably we'll do that live again. We did it live last year. Totally forgot about that until it was mentioned to me, but we did do that last year. So we'll probably do a live draft again for our fantasy league in the near future. So shout out to that. Boys, any last thoughts?
Nope.
All right. Well, that's it then. Until next time, guys, hopefully you have a good one. Thank you so much for listening to ATFS, and make sure to check out ATSN. I know we weren't live here. My bad. I fucked up. Bye.